Original.
Hello, and welcome to Web Crawlers, the podcast where we do a deep dive into some of our favorite unsolved mysteries. Each week, we will introduce our topic, lay out our research and findings, reveal some conspiracy theories, and conclude with our own hypothesis. Who knows, we might even solve a case. I am Allie Siegel.
I am Melissa Stettin.
And I'm Producer Maria.
Cool.
Web Crawlers has a Patreon, and thank you guys so much for all the donations you have been making lately. To get access to rewards, bonus episodes, shout outs, etc., please go to patreon.com/webcrawlers. You can donate as little as $2 a month to become one of our bimbo patrons. Also, and we have some new episodes which are going to be coming out like once a week for a little bit. Yeah, so get excited for that. Also, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. If you give us a 5-star review, screenshot and DM it to us, and we will shout you out on the podcast. We have some new reviews. Let's read them real quick. First one is from Ash Ketchup and Hot Sauce. Important. I would never do this, but I just heard the voicemail, the infamous voicemail, and it just says, "You rock, don't ever change."
Thank you.
Next one is from Stevie Cat, Mind Blown, 5 stars. When you turn on a podcast, you secretly hope it's something different that holds your attention for more than 5 minutes. I rarely find something as original as this podcast, that's for sure.
Ooh.
Allie, Melissa, and Maria make the best trio, and having something to listen to that makes me giggle, snort, laugh is unmatched. 5 stars for Bigfoot erotica and Maria's demon voice. Next we have from Sue, please, 5 stars. Ladies, I need an Allie's crematorium t-shirt, crop top, hat, pin, anything really. Love you all. So thank you for those 5 stars reviews. We really appreciate that.
You've also got some supporters, some new supporters.
Oh, tell us.
Ooh.
Lay it out.
Well, Renee said she sent you a message via Instagram expressing my gratitude for the 3 of you. Messages from Feel the Love. And she gave you guys $25.
Oh my
Holy
God.
Toledo.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
And then Magneto Girl said this is for the live in show. And that was $3.
Thank you. That's so nice.
I guess she didn't trust just sending it to my Venmo, but okay. And we made like $100 on the live show night. So thank you guys for that.
That's amazing.
Also, Eros has a hotline. Insert jingle here.
626-604-6262.
Thank you, as usual, for all of your voicemails. We'll play them on our mailbag. And then finally, we have a new Discord, Web Crawlers Pod, and it's been so fun so far.
Yeah, we have like over 100 members. Everyone's chatting away, made different rooms. It's a fun time. On our Instagram and Twitter, there's a link to the Discord. So you just click on that and you join and you can chat with other listeners.
There's someone who has the username Allie's Glass Eye. And private message me because I want to just actually it says there's 2 listeners. My guess is that it's one who messed up and like did it twice, but if there's 2, message me because I just want to see what's up. Melissa, I love it. Melissa, I love to be roasted. It helps me grow. Melissa, who are our new patrons?
We have Ivan, Heather R, Alexa S, Ninachka J, Shayna W, Jillian L, Yvette L, Katie C, Landon G, Nicole, and Elizabeth G. Welcome.
Thank you guys for joining the team. We love you guys so much. We love all our patrons, and we love everyone who listens. We're a big family.
Ask this. Now I'm looking at our chartable, just seeing where we're trending. And South Korea and Russia.
I know.
But Russia too. You guys are in the top 100 of Apple Podcasts within those places. So if anyone's listening from South Korea or Russia, I'd love to hear from you. And just know, like, what's the vibe over there? Why is Web Crawlers just sweeping the those countries.
Are people out in the streets chanting our names? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Seems like. I mean, number 76 in true crime in Russia. I mean,
Well, I am Russian. That's probably why.
yeah. Yeah. Number 58 true crime in South Korea. I mean, that's
crazy.
Well, we got to do a Korean mystery episode soon. I think
Yeah.
we have a couple.
and a Russian mystery.
Yes.
Da.
Niet.
Okay. Niet. Da niet. Hold on a second.
Uh-oh. Are you going to say something in Russian?
You betcha.
Can't wait to hear it.
Oh, it's in
Like Russian.
it's in the letters.
You got to translate
It's
it
in the
to,
Russian alphabet. Why didn't it do it phonetically?
You got to translate that to English.
But then it will just be in English. Do you know what I'm saying? I wanted to say, I love all of our Russian listeners. Thank you so much for listening. But then it did it to the Russian alphabet. Like, can it do it phonetically?
Пенис нежного человека.
Do you know what that means?
No, Maria, what does that mean?
Bigfoot's penis. Пенис нежного человека. Bigfoot's penis.
All right. So let's get into our episode of today. And we actually have a really big guest who I'm super excited. This is the first guest who I've reached out to and who has actually responded to my email.
Yeah.
So headed in the right direction so far. Our episode today, Melissa, what are we getting into?
So today we're talking about the flat earth.
Should we play a song before we get into it?
We should play one of the raps.
Yeah, let's play a rap. By the way, just as a disclaimer, I think the earth is round.
Me too, Maria.
Maria?
I think Mark
boy.
might have some really valid
boy.
points. What? Well, who's to say?
Maria.
Okay, so today we're talking about the flat earth. So the idea that the earth is flat has gotten some renewed interest lately. The last time this idea was popular was back in the 19th century, and for whatever reason, the idea has picked up steam again. So what do flat earthers actually believe, and why do they believe this? And how is it related to Christianity and creationism? Let's get into it. And instead of the web crawlers theme song, we're going to give you, we found some flat earth raps.
Yeah, we have to, who is this by? Who is this by? We should credit
This
it.
is Delano Edwards. The song title is 1,000,000,000% Flat Earth Proof. And I really like this song. I've been singing it all night. Here it is.
Beat the tomato. Look, scientists say we got here from the Big Bang. But scientists, y'all can suck on my big thing. Y'all say gravity exists. Bullshit. If it's heavy, it's gonna fall just like dropping the brick. Suck my. I'ma tell y'all motherfuckers that the earth is flat. It ain't no motherfucking ball. How the fuck you believe that? NASA they some bitches, they ain't go to the moon. Near the grass and you a bitch, just like Winnie the Pooh. Bill not a science guy, bitch. Fuck you
call
too.
Winnie
The
the Pooh
earth
a
flatter than
bitch?
the water at the top of a pool.
Yeah,
The
and Bill
earth
Nye the Science
stationary,
Guy.
bitch. That mean it don't move. In the flat earth wins, the globalists lose. Feel it, all you globalists some bitches. We just telling you the truth. Flat earthers, we the realest. And we get laughed at cause we ain't stupid like you niggas. The government pimps and y'all suck they penis. The sun not 3 million miles away. Get the fuck out of here. I see that bitch every day. It's inside the fucking firmament, the way it's in the Bible. You hate me, I don't give a fuck, you my rival. Rainbows pool,
It's a dome, bitch.
Sundogs pool, it's a dome, bitch. The sun and the moon in the dome, bitch. In this water, a butterfucking dome, bitch. Look, scientists say we got here from the Big Bang. Scientists, y'all can suck on my big thing. Y'all say gravity exists, bullshit.
Okay. Let's turn it
I
off.
think that's my new favorite song. That's really good.
Really good.
Do you like that? But do you like that or Alley Time better?
Oof, the toss up.
Both have a lot to say in them. Both are very.
That is true. Make bold statements.
Yeah.
Oh no, Maria, what was that what was that face you just made?
Someone was yelling outside.
Maybe it was a flat earther.
It's
a globe, bitch.
Yeah, they heard their song.
It's a dome, bitch.
So, Melissa, what is the flat earth theory?
Okay, so flat earthers believe the earth is a flat disk with the Arctic Circle in the center and Antarctica is actually a 150 wall of ice around the rim.
Interesting.
So they say NASA employees guard this ice wall to prevent people from climbing over and falling off.
Like falling off into where though?
Into space.
So the Earth is flat and then like space is around it?
Yes. And then another theory is that some flat earthers believe that the Earth is encased in a huge hemispherical dome, like snow globe. So it's either just flat, there's an ice wall, or there's a dome. Those are like the two
we are in
main-
a snow globe. We're in a little kid's snow globe in the future.
That's true.
In a simulation. That's what I heard. That's the main theory that I heard. But I also think the ice wall is in that snow globe theory, that like it's flat.
Oh, okay. So it could be
Yeah,
both.
that it's flat, and then there's an ice wall around, and then there's a globe
on top
and
of
then there's a
that.
globe on top of it, like the Truman Show or like a planetarium or a snow globe.
Biodome.
But then the question is like, okay, and then like on top of the globe, on top of the snow globe, it's like that's where like the stars and like the constellations or everything just on top of this globe. But then it's like, okay, so then like who's controlling the globe? Like who put the globe there? How did the like what is the globe made of? Like
NASA.
what is that all about? Like I'm confused. Like is that God? Like did God put it there?
Well,
Like
we can ask Mark. We can ask Mark.
yeah, I have a lot of questions for
I
Mark.
bet you
Sorry
do.
for interjecting. Yeah.
I have no questions for Mark. I get it.
Oh, God. Okay, so flat earthers explain the Earth's day and night cycle by claiming that the sun and moon are spheres measuring 32 miles across. So the sun and moon are balls, and that they move in circles around the North Pole, and that they are 3,000 miles above the plane of Earth. So they're just up there circling this disk.
Who figured all this out? Like this seems like a lot.
Figured it out, Maria.
Yes.
That makes it seem like it's true.
Yes.
We get into the history of why this
Okay.
happens.
All right.
So they say that the stars are 100 miles above the sun and the moon. So the stars are all up there. So they say the sun and the moon operate like spotlights and illuminate different parts of the planet in a 24-hour cycle.
It's great.
It is. But then what about eclipses, you ask? How do you explain eclipses? Well, flat earthers believe there must also be an invisible, quote-unquote, anti-moon that obscures the moon during lunar eclipses. Like there's something that flows in front of the moon to make it look like it's a circle.
I mean, this is so confusing. Like flat Earth is like more confusing than it just being a globe with gravity.
Yeah. So they don't believe in gravity. They think the Earth is accelerating up to give the illusion of gravity. Like they think this flat disk is flying upwards just into nowhere. And that's why things fall. That's why there's gravity. That's how they explain. They don't think gravity exists. They think we're just moving up.
And that's why like if I like that's why that would fall when I drop it.
Well, what's pushing it up?
I don't know. There's no explanation. NASA.
God.
They think, well, this is why it ties into creationism and Christianity, because a lot of this has to do with, which we'll get into a little bit later, but
Do you have corona?
no, I don't. This is how I find out.
This is how you go.
Talked about the flat earth. Lived how I loved. So anyway, what's underneath the earth? So most flat earthers believe it's just a bunch of rocks. They think photos of Earth from space are photoshopped. They think GPS devices are rigged to make pilots think that they are flying in straight lines around a sphere when they're actually flying in circles above a disk. And so the motive for why government would be hiding this is not clear, but most of them think it's for financial reasons. That's what they all say.
But the first photos from space were in what, the 50s, 56 or whatever? There was no Photoshop then, right?
1956 when we went to the moon.
When did we go to the moon?
1969.
Maria, don't be gross. Was there?
They could have done it manual. There were fake pictures back then, like those fake ghost pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that
they
people
could have
had.
like drew them.
Okay, continue.
So there's also a Flat Earth conference, an annual Flat Earth conference, and the most recent one was attended by more than 600 people.
Wow.
So flat Earth ideas are based on, yes.
I watched a national I watched on National Geographic YouTube this morning that like 80% of adults obviously think that the Earth is a globe, which seems
Only 80?
to me low. Well, wait. And like 60% of like kids to people in their 20s think that it's a globe.
Only? That
Only
seems
60
low.
Only 60%. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a really like it's 60%.
That's too low for my well-being. I
Yeah.
can't.
I mean, like, that's why I'm saying, like, this started off as, like, a movement where maybe it's, you know, funnier and, like, oh, these people are a little, like,
Yeah.
off. But, I mean, this is getting bad. Like, it's getting bad.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary.
Yeah.
So flat Earth ideas are based on basic scientific misunderstandings that can be easily refuted. For most people, even those who have no physics background, the evidence that the Earth is round is obvious. And many flat earthers are more invested in the idea of a conspiracy than in providing a workable model of a flat Earth. Like they're more like really into this conspiracy than like actually thinking about how it actually works.
Yeah.
And so they have a very low standard of evidence for what they want to believe, but they have an extremely high standard of evidence for what they don't want to believe. You know, like they need
They'll just refute.
So much proof that the Earth is round, but when it comes to the Earth is flat, when someone says like, oh yeah, it's just a disc with a globe, they're like, okay, yeah, I believe it. They don't want to believe that the Earth is round. And a lot of flat earthers also believe that the government controls the weather.
Yeah. Do you want to read the note that I added to the doc?
Well, Allie had a note that says, I think I can control the weather. I really think I do.
I honestly think I can control the weather. When I was little, like, I said to my mom, I was like, every time I'm sad, it starts to rain. And like when I'm happy, it's sunny out. And then my mom was like, maybe you're just sad because it's raining. And then you're happy when
Was
it's
that when El
sunny
Nino was big in LA?
Yeah. But I swear to God, like I think I can control the weather and I can't get into it more than that.
We'll get into it later.
I can't justify it more than that. I just think I can.
Okay, that's all we need. So photos of skylines are often cited as proof. They often use a photo of Chicago from Lake Michigan that shows the skyline 60 miles away. They say that you shouldn't be able to see the skyline if the Earth is round, but you should because it's not that far away.
Yeah.
It's okay. So when asked about why planes don't have to refuel when flying from Antarctica to New Zealand, because if the Earth was flat, they'd have to fly tens of thousands of miles. And so a flat earther said, refueling planes could be a giant hoax to stop us realizing that the Earth is flat. Like any sort of reasoning, they just think is a hoax.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, so when did we actually discover that the Earth was round? Ancient Greek philosophers traveled to Egypt around 300 BC and saw new constellations, so they assumed that the Earth was round, meaning if you can't see it, if the Earth was flat, you'd be able to see all the constellations from one set location.
Right.
So if you move locations and you see something new, that means that the Earth is spherical. It changes shape so you can see new things from different points. They also measured shadows. And of course, photos from space prove that the Earth is round. We've known for over 2,000 years this kind of actual scientific proven information. So I sourced some facts from the website Popular Science. Since the Earth is rotating, the consistent oval shadow it produces in each and every lunar eclipse proves that the Earth is not only round, but spherical, absolutely, utterly beyond a shadow of a doubt, not flat.
Sure.
And the scientific experiment for this is the Foucault pendulum. Probably pronouncing that wrong. Shadows. If you stick a stick in the ground, it will produce a shadow. The shadow moves as time passes, which is the principle for ancient shadow clocks.
Yeah.
If the world had been flat, then two sticks in different locations would produce the exact same shadow. Then one of our favorite subjects, time zones. This can only be explained if the world is round and rotating around its own axis.
It's been time zones this whole time. Wow.
time zones this whole time. Also, because another interesting thing, like, I don't know how flat earthers explain time zones, but when I was emailing with Mark, he asked me what time zone I was in. So, like, he acknowledges
we
time
got
zones.
him. We got him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see the curve of the Earth from an airplane. According to a 2008 paper in the Journal of Applied Optics, the Earth's curve becomes suddenly visible at an altitude of around 35,000 feet, as long as the observer has at least a 60-degree field of view, which may be difficult from a passenger plane window. So this experiment doesn't always work when you're flying because it has to be at a certain degree
Right.
field. The curvature becomes more readily apparent above 50,000 feet. Passengers on the now grounded supersonic Concorde jet were often treated to a view of the curved horizon while flying at 60,000 feet. So while on a normal airplane ride, you might not always be able to see the curvature of the Earth. And in fact, the flat earthers did an experiment where they brought a level onto an airplane.
I watched that.
Did you see that? And they were like, if it stays level, then that means the Earth is flat. And it did stay level. So they were like, okay, the Earth is flat. But you might not always be traveling on the curvature,
He was on a flight that was like an hour long too. Like he wasn't going far. If you're going across the world on like a flight from a different country, it'll move.
And also, like, a lot of these experiments are not taking other things into account, like the distance that you're going, like wind factor, light and things like that. So, like how high in the air you are, the horizon. So if you are traveling at 60,000 feet on this Concorde jet, you are able to see
like the
curvature
Virgin
of the Earth.
Galactic, or like the new airplane where you can like go into space. Like those people probably can see the horizon.
Yeah, but then the flat earthers are probably like, that's a hoax.
It's a picture.
You're probably
they
on
put
a ride
in place of the windows. It's just a picture.
Yeah, they're probably like, you're in Disneyland.
Yeah.
So does Craig want to come in real quick and talk about the Earth at all, or should we just keep going?
Hey, Craig, could you come explain to us why the Earth is round?
Oh, we can use Craig's Corner's music. Yeah. Finally.
Yeah.
Craig's Corner. Do, do, do. Craig's Corner. Do, do, do. All right, you with me?
Sure.
Explain it to us like we're idiots.
Hello, Craig.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. I don't know why. I mean, I assume why it's round has something to do with when debris is orbiting around Earth. I would if there's like rocks, like odd-shaped rocks, once they get into an orbit around the sun, they're consistently orbiting, right, at a certain mile an hour and everything, and they're slowly getting closer, like we are, closer to the sun. And over, billions of years, I would imagine that orbit and that rotation on the axis causes almost like a sandblasting effect with debris in space. And it kind of pummels the Earth's surface or planet's surface until they inherently take on a round spherical shape, because that's the most ideal shape to be in while orbiting something like that, right? Because you're going to, if you spin something and it's got the gravitational pull of the sun at the same time, everything basically will get into a spherical shape. That's what I don't even know if that's correct, but that's what I would assume.
Is the Earth flat or is it round?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious that it's, spherical. I think it would be do they say round?
I mean, I think it's a sphere.
That's their argument, right? They say,
round.
well, no, it's not round.
Can't it be flat?
Well, as I was saying before, I don't know what the flat earthers' theory is as to why gravity works and all that. But how I understand gravity is from that pull of Earth toward the sun and of us rotating on our own axis. That creates basically centrifugal force, which would cause you to pull toward the sun. Like basically us on Earth, standing on Earth, Earth is trying to pull us to the center. That's what gravity is. Earth is trying to pull us to the core. So basically that's the same as like the sun trying to pull Earth to the core. You dig?
Yeah.
That's my.
That makes sense.
I'm going to ask Mark about what he thinks about gravity.
Yeah, well, here's the question I would ask him. This whole thing can be solved by all these flat earthers just renting a boat and going to the edge of it.
Because they say NASA is preventing them. They have guards that won't let you pass.
Oh, get on the boat and then take a picture of these guards.
That's what I'm saying.
You can go to Area 51 and get within like 10 miles of it, and there's guards that say, we will shoot you if you go any further. Give me a picture of the guards. Go get close to it, and then get a drone and fly the drone as far as you can go.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Now you're thinking like a flat earther.
Well, but the flat Earth thing. I mean, hey, you guys know me. I'm up to discuss the wackiest shit out there. Like, I'll entertain anything. All right,
Right.
Well, he'll try to.
Anyway, these was what's her name? The first person to fly around the globe. Earhart?
Amelia Earhart?
No, Lindbergh was the first, right?
Oh, Lindbergh, he flew, I think it was the first solo flight.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then I think Amelia Earhart did it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But, and then Howard Hughes did it. And it's like, how do you explain, like, these people weren't even considering, like, the flat earth thing back then. And, like, it is, I mean, they must have, the flat earthers must have an explanation for why Howard Hughes took off from New York or wherever it was, and then stopped in different countries along the way, and then ended up back in New York. Like, he flew around the globe. Like, it's not.
They claim the government is controlling GPS to make it seem like you're going to these different places. They have an explanation for everything.
I mean, they really do.
Yeah.
There was one video. I think it's pretty famous, like in the flat earther debunking world. There's actually a world of people who just debunk flat earthers, and it was a guy who, which seemed the most logical thing. He put a sensor like so many miles away, and then had a laser light to it.
Yeah, this was in the Behind the Curve documentary.
Okay. Oh, okay. And then the guy
But
panics.
he was a flat earther.
He was. Yeah, he was. He was trying to prove it was flat, and then he kind of was like,
Didn't work.
And he
maybe it's not.
disproved himself. And
Yeah,
was
he
like,
disproved
there
himself.
must be something wrong. There must be something
He didn't
wrong.
care, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it has to do with like projecting a straight line over the horizon, and if it was,
they
if
did
there
that.
wasn't. But I mean, so do they think the moon is like? Because I've heard wacky shit to where they say the moon is like a projection.
Yeah, they think it's like a ball that's like controlled by the government that just moves in circles around the sun.
But there's like ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs that show the moon.
Yes,
what,
there are.
What were they I mean, you guys want to get crazy? There's ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs that show UFOs too. Seriously, like discs with light coming out of them right near the pyramids.
Ancient alien shit.
Well, I don't know about that, whatever that is, but I mean, have you seen those hieroglyphics, or how they call hieroglyphs?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen them.
They're called ancient emojis. No.
All right, bye, Craig.
Wait, that's it? I go out on ancient emojis? All right. Well, fine. There has to be a way to get a boat, so they're guarding both edges of the.
All.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Wait. Find out.
It's not a square. It's a
It's
round
a round
flat.
disc. It's a flat disc.
So it's a disc. It is a disc.
Yes.
So
And
then that's
underneath
how
is
they
a
can.
disc.
It's
So that's how they
flat
explain
circle.
what the moon can be, and
It's a planetarium.
Yeah.
Truman Show.
It's a
Yeah.
biodome.
yeah. Have you guys ever seen Saturn through a telescope?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Is that not the
No.
freakiest thing you've ever seen?
It's cool.
I mean, it looks like a draw. Like when you see you're like, oh, that's.
Watch out. Melissa's going to steal your man.
Well, I'll tell you what. Here, when you look at Saturn through a telescope, your first reaction will be, "Get the fuck out of here."
It looks fake. It looks like a drawing.
It really does look like a
does.
drawing. You can't. I went to Griffith Park, and they have telescopes set up all along the lawn, and you go from planet to planet, and they go, oh, this is Saturn. Oh, Saturn. I'll check it out. I'm like, come on, that's Saturn. You can't believe it. No, dude, you can see the rings and like the lines in the rings, and it's just
pretty
crazy.
cool.
It really is crazy. I don't know what this has to do with flat Earth, but I guess you'd have to explain, well, where's that backside of that ring going, dude?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. In closing, I'm sure many people have a better explanation for. Although, I think it was Einstein's whole theory, the best way to explain the universe is picture holding a bed sheet and then putting a giant ball in the middle of the bed sheet, right? And it creates, it kind of like pushes down on the fabric, right? And the fabric is like what our universe is. And then if you spin like a bunch of marbles around it, they will all spin around and they'll eventually make their way to the center. That's how you can visualize what is going on in the galaxy.
Huh. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, it really does make sense like that. And so like the whole theory is like that the galaxy itself is like a flat sheet, and then everything is like on that sheet. And if you think about that and like how things react to it, that makes sense because gravity pulls things toward it, right? And if it's on like a sheet, then anything heavier next to something is going to pull the smaller object toward it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Anyway, so that apparently that's what the universe is like. But anyway, you have to look that up. All right. Bye, ladies.
Thanks, Craig.
Thanks, Craig.
Welcome to our Joe Rogan podcast where we...
Yeah, seriously. Okay, well, to continue some flat earther arguments. So flat earthers aren't simply ridiculous or dismissible. In fact, their beliefs can be quite dangerous.
I wasn't laughing at you. He thinks now that I'm laughing that we're laughing at him.
I love that we were talking about flat Earth and then all of a sudden we're talking about hieroglyphic aliens.
That's
Craig's
for
corner
you.
for you.
That's you never know. Craig's corner is a loose cannon.
Grab bag. Who knows?
So
Is he still going on about the Earth?
oh my God. Flat earthers are a growing movement. Many deny climate change. They deny evolution. Some are anti-vaxxers. They reject science. So what happens when a conspiracy like this truly snowballs? If a flat earther becomes a government official, if it starts being taught in school, if we eventually get a flat earther president.
Well, there are people who are in QAnon who have been elected to government.
That's fucking scary. So that's why like this stuff, it's like funny and like in jest, but also it's like, there's an interesting part of that flat earther documentary on Netflix, which I suggest everyone watch, where it's like, the scientist says you can't really fight with these kind of people. It's more productive to, if you do have a scientific background, which obviously I do not, I won't speak for you two, if you have that kind of background, to hear their opinions and then try to like inform them of the correct way of thinking or, the real.
That's why you can't like dismiss conspiracy theorists. You can't just yell at them and be like, you're a fucking idiot. You're fucking stupid, because that just pushes them even further
to the edge. Yeah. So just kind of be like, okay, well, what if you were to think of it from this perspective?
Yeah.
Or how do you, like, how can you dismiss this kind of evidence? Or does that seem realistic? So it's just, but anyways, if you listen to flat earther arguments, they all include a form of what they call science. They're not opposed to reading and learning. They're not anti-intellectual, but they are pseudo-intellectual. They say they appreciate science and research, but they reject all data that negates their belief that the earth is round. And this is obviously 2,000 years worth of scientific data. Their arguments tend to appeal to intuition and common sense. So they'll be like, do you feel like you're on a spinning ball right now?
Yeah.
Are you a monkey hurling through space? And it has also become a kind of like shareable Facebook meme movement. So, if it's like a picture of flat earth and then like 30 people share it, and then that becomes the knowledge that it's like, Facebook information where that's where they're absorbing a lot of their content. One question that they think that NASA was found. Oh, this is where I got that 1915 number. Mark says that Mark thinks that NASA was founded in 1958 to keep this all under wraps.
Oh, okay.
So
why would they
That's
want to
interesting.
keep it under wraps? I don't understand. What's the point of?
Well,
I don't know.
There's no like when you ask them, they're like, oh, it's financial reasons, so they can control everyone. to keep them in the dark, but like control them to do what exactly is what I'm confused
Right.
about, you know?
It all probably goes back to like reptilian,
Yeah.
weird, like Illuminati people.
Yeah, it's all sort of connected.
Also, I'm like really confused about this like giant planetarium, like who put the dome on top and like who controls the lights.
Who created this dome? What is it made? It's just so many questions.
It's made of cheese, you idiot.
The moon is made of
That-
cheese.
Oh my God, cloudy and a chance of meatballs.
Exactly.
My friends.
Meatballs, cheese. The universe sounds good.
Fruit roll. It's the fruit roll-up material that's like on top of, but it's hardened,
my God,
you know?
yeah.
Oh, sick, man.
So how did this flat earth theory start and how is it related to Christianity? So the idea initially surfaced in the 1800s as a backlash to science. So people wanted to take the Bible literally, but science was disproving it. So one of the earliest proponents was 19th century English inventor Samuel Rowbotham. He was a Christian, and he said astronomy was bullshit. He said teaching the earth is round is like teaching atheism. One of the main reasons the flat earthers believe the earth is flat is because the Bible says it is.
It does? Where?
Well, Revelation says, quote, "Then the stars of the sky fell to the earth like green figs falling from a tree shaken by a strong wind." They cite that verse and they ask, well, if the stars are larger than the earth, like science teaches us, then how can the stars fall onto earth?
Oy vey.
And then another question they ask is, if the earth is round, how could Jesus be taken to a mountain and shown all the kingdoms of the world? Like they take that literally. As he went to this mountain, he saw the kingdoms.
Well, the world wasn't fully populated yet. It was probably just like the kingdoms in his city. It's like if someone took me to Laurel Canyon and then was like, there's Silver Lake, there's Echo Park.
Yeah.
I just
And
feel like a
there's
lot of like
Atwater.
Bible like purists should just take a creative writing class. You know,
Yeah.
because like I don't think they understand that there's such thing as like
Yeah. They're called Bible like literalists. They have a name.
Yeah.
People who take it literally. It's so weird.
Did you ever see that sorry to interrupt. Did you ever see that documentary by that guy where he
Morgan
talks to
Spurlock.
all
Supersize Me.
Supersize me too.
Maria. No, that guy.
Which guy?
Michael
Louis
Moore.
Theroux.
Bowling for
No.
Columbine.
David Farrier.
No, guys. Hold
Dark
on.
Tourist.
Religiosity.
Oh, what's his face? Bill Maher.
Yeah, did you see that? I don't
Oh,
love
never
Bill
saw
Maher,
that.
but
I heard it was
oh my
good.
God, it's actually a really great doc about like fundamentalists.
Oh, interesting.
He goes to like a creationist like adventure park.
Oh, that's funny.
It's like Disneyland for creationists, and like instead of like Snow White, it's like Jesus and Mary are walking
Oh,
around,
what a
and like all the
bummer.
rides are, yeah.
Here's this kid that died at 33 and his mom.
No.
Do you want a picture?
This kid who died at 33 and his mom.
And his dad and his adopted dad, or his
Oh,
adopted
no.
dad.
So the Bible also says that the moon is one of the quote unquote great lights that God made on the fourth day of creation. So the flat earthers always ask, well, how does the moon continue to be bright at night, even though science claims it's supposed to reflect light off the sun? So they think that the moon is just this light that can turn on and off, when in reality it reflects light off of the sun. But they're like, no, it's a light. It has a light switch.
Oy vey.
But the Bible actually says that two lights were created together, but it does not precisely say they each produce light, only that they provide light. So the Bible even says they provide light. So the leader of the 20th century movement, Lady Elizabeth Blount, said the Bible was the unquestionable authority regarding the natural world. She argued that one could not believe the earth was a globe and also be a Christian.
Well, I believe that.
Yeah. So then in 1956, there was the Flat Earth Society. So the Flat Earth movement actually died down in the early 20th century, but then it was revived in 1956 as the Flat Earth Society by Samuel Shenton. And he based his theory upon what he called common sense and personal observation. When people showed him pictures of the Earth taken by satellites, he claimed the photos were fake. And he and the members of the society said that those who disagree with them are part of a conspiracy to keep the truth about the Earth hidden. And, fun fact, the leaders and members are mostly white men of this Flat Earth Society. Yeah.
Who do they think staged the moon landing again? Like, who do they think directed it?
Stanley Kubrick.
That's not or better.
And then there's the Behind the Curve documentary on Netflix. It follows a few flat earthers like Mark Sargent, aka King of the Flat Earthers, who we're going to be interviewing soon.
So exciting.
He's really big on YouTube. In the documentary, he lives with his mom. He posted a flat earth video in 2015 that blew up. So that's when he became like this big proponent of flat earthers. And then it also follows Patricia Steer, who's like a big flat earther YouTuber / podcaster woman. And it talks a lot about how biblical literalists and creationists are also flat earthers. And then one person in the documentary, this guy named Bob Nodal, and his pals set up this ring laser gyroscope to prove the Earth is flat. And if the Earth spins 360 degrees every 24 hours, then every hour it should move 15 degrees. And so if this gyroscope is mounted anywhere on Earth, it will drift 15 degrees every hour if the Earth is round. And it uses gravity to determine its orientation. But what they found when they turned on the gyroscope is that it was indeed picking up a drift of 15 degrees per hour.
Whoa.
And so there's like footage of them like at this like flat earther party, and they hear Bob saying to his friend, he's like, well, obviously we were taken aback by that. Like we were not willing to accept that. And so we started looking for an easy way to disprove that it was actually registering the motion of the Earth. He said it was being moved by quote unquote heaven energies.
Oof.
So then they got this large tube to put the gyroscope in to shield it from any outside energy, and it still drifted 15 degrees. But like they won't accept it. They're like, there must be something
else. Yeah. It's like we were talking about, like when you go into something with an agenda, that's not science.
Yeah, it's not science. And so at a flat earth meetup, Bob is talking about the gyroscope experiment, and he says to another flat earther, he says, if we dumped what we found right now, it would be bad. It would be really bad. We don't want this to blow up, you know, when we've got $20,000 in this freaking gyro. What I told you is confidential. So like he tells another person, like they've invested so much money that like they don't want to be wrong because they want to get their money's worth, you know?
Yeah. So then they totally disregard those results and set up another experiment with a laser.
This is what Craig is talking about.
Yeah, and this is the ending of the documentary. They set up 2 boards that are exactly the same height from water level, cut holes in them, and point a light through them.
Yeah, they set up 2 boards, and then they have a board in the middle. And so they point the laser straight through. They're like, if the laser hits all 3 boards at the same point, then the Earth is flat. But if there's like the middle board is kind of up a little, then that means the Earth is curved. And so the documentary ends with them, they're pointing the laser through the beam or through the board, and they don't see it. They're like, we don't see the laser. Can you lift it up? Can you hold it up a little? He lifts it up above his head, and they see it.
Yeah.
And they're like...
He lifts the board up above his head, and then he's able to see it because there's a curvature of the Earth.
And then
so
when
you
it ends up, they're
yeah.
going like, that's interesting. And like, that's how the documentary ends. It's really great.
Yeah, it's
really
rough.
great.
So there seems to be some overlap with Christians, creationists, and flat earthers, as we said. According to polling data by the firm Datafolha, 7% of the Brazilian population, which is about 11 million people, believe that the Earth is flat. This huge number has been attributed to a resurgence of the evangelical Christian church.
Crazy.
And again, it's in this National Geographic thing I watched, it was 80% think the world is a globe in America, and 60% of the younger population do. So it's like a large amount of people question whether or not the Earth is a globe. It's scary. Christians who take the Bible literally believe the world was created by God in 7 days. Creationism is the belief that the universe and all living organisms originated from God rather than evolution. They think humans were created within the last 10,000 years. They don't believe in dinosaurs. The bones are all fake. Like it's all staged. They were made up to perpetuate the 6 billion year old Earth. Creationism sort of set the groundwork for flat earthers. It fits perfectly into their worldview. Creationists also distrust scientists, which is also goes back. Like, I think a lot of these creationists, you were saying, Melissa, when you're looking at their pages, like they don't wear, like, and during this quarantine corona thing, they're like, masks don't help.
Yeah.
We're not going to wear masks. So, I mean, this is not only like a differing belief system. It can be dangerous. Both believe the mainstream scientific community is opposed to their ideas. Both believe themselves to be unfairly labeled as pseudoscientists. Both believe they are fighting an uphill battle against ideological assumptions disguised as objective science. Both deny numerous branches of science maintain their beliefs. But again, that being said, web crawlers is a no drama stress-free zone. So we don't bully and we don't antagonize. We like to hear all belief systems, but then give our informed opinion that we think is more productive and positive for the world.
Nicely said.
Thanks. So I spitballed for a minute and went off the cuff. There's also some celebs who believe the world is flat. B.O.B. released a track called Flatline and tweeted, "No matter how high in elevation you are, the horizon is always eye level. Sorry, cadets. I don't want to believe it either." He started a GoFundMe campaign in 2017 to raise money to launch a satellite.
And then he didn't make any money.
That sucks. It's like our Patreon. NBA player Kyrie Irving said in an interview, "Can you openly admit that you know the earth is constitutionally round? Like, you know that for sure? Like, I don't know."
Yeah, this was a whole thing in the NBA like a couple of years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Also, I guess Tila Tequila was a flat earther. I think she is deceased now.
She deceased.
Wait,
But
she died?
didn't she die?
No.
I'm pretty sure she died.
No, she's alive.
No, she's alive.
Oh my God. Why did I swear to God, I was convinced she was dead. She didn't die from a drug overdose?
Wait, I feel like I heard that too.
This is a Mandela effect thing. Didn't she have
weird.
a kid? She had a kid and she died of a drug overdose and she this is insane.
She gave birth to her second child.
Named Annabelle.
Oh.
Didn't the Annabelle doll, wasn't there a hoax like this past week that the Annabelle doll escaped or something?
I read that, and apparently like every few years, like someone starts the rumor that the Annabelle doll escaped. In 2012, she checked into rehab after almost dying from an attempted suicide by overdosing on pills. She had a brain aneurysm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember it as her dying, but I guess not. Another thing that I saw on the doc was they're like, the world can't be a globe because planes can't fly upside down.
What? Oh, no. So there's a lot of flat earth influencers and YouTubers, and YouTube is a huge reason for why this flat earth thing is like revived lately.
Yeah.
I mean, YouTube is the reason for all conspiracy theories on why they grow so quickly. Mark, he posts like every day he puts up a video.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I wonder how much bank he makes off, because he has like almost 100,000 subscribers.
Well, yeah, he makes money off of ads from YouTube, which is why, I mean, a question I want to ask him is like, if he decides that the earth is round, like he loses his identity. Like he just goes back to being one of the people who thinks the earth is round. Like he's not going to make money off of his YouTube anymore. You know, this is like his identity.
Yeah.
And then there's Shelley Lewis, who we found while searching for Epstein's alleged girlfriend, Shelley Ann Lewis.
Yeah, there's a Shelley Lewis who's a flat earther.
Yeah.
What a cursed name. Wait, but also isn't Shelley Lewis also the name of the woman who created Lamb Chop?
Lamb Chop. Oh, Sherry Lewis.
Yeah, Sherry.
Oh, fuck.
But this Shelley Lewis woman, she was also in a video at Gelson's where she refused to wear a mask. Like she was a Karen on the internet a couple months ago.
Stop it, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's play another song real quick.
So we found some flat Earth raps that are pretty good. Pretty good.
That first one was too vulgar for me. Is there another one?
Yes, we have. This is from Odd TV. It's called Cartoon Ball.
Reality, big bang evolution and there's gravity. I tell the truth and then these motherfuckers laugh at me, telling me the earth is photoshopped because it has to be. Most people accept the deception happily, but what they're doing to us all is a tragedy. God created the heavens and the earth in a verse, but we're living in a Freemasonic galaxy. They say we're monkeys on a ball flying through outer space, but there's no proof. It seems to have vanished without a trace. NASA and other agencies falling down from grace. You can take that bullshit pseudoscience and get out my face. I'm the antisocial type. You're a government prototype. That's why you make it a point to tell me that I'm crazy every time you're angry, because you know I'm right.
Pretty good.
Wow. I got one more. Here's one from CMAS. It's called Plain Sight.
I've been watching lots of videos, listening to lots of music, B.O.B. I got one question I gotta ask you, brain cell. Where's the curvature? Eric Dubay.
Right here, bitch.
On reality. Listening to the higher side chats. It's got me questioning everything. Yeah. I don't know. Or do I? Nicholas Copernicus, Galileo Galilei. Full confirmations of the 33rd degree. The tradition continues with astronomers today. And those that are employed by NASA. The ultimate conspiracy, the ultimate fact. We've never seen our planet. You can't deny that. Every photo that's released is carefully selected. This is the greatest lie, so they have to perfect it. Agreeing to South Africa.
Oh, wow.
These are good.
I know. Like, I'm not on board with Flat Earth, but like I am on board with their music. There's
Yeah,
no doubt
pretty
about
good.
that. One thing that's also crazy is they say in the docs, like, and this makes sense, like a flat earther cannot date someone who believes the earth is round. Like it doesn't work.
It won't work.
So they have flat earth dating sites. So there's flatearthsingles.com, which is apparently no longer working. And then there's Flat Earth Match, which is a private Facebook group, which Melissa could not infiltrate.
Yeah, it's private.
She wasn't hot enough. There's 2,700 members, and it's ran by a guy named John Perry. However, it's not that great. So it says, this is a flat earth group primarily for dating. Yes, we believe the earth is flat. This group is also not a debate group. There are plenty of great debate groups out there. This one's just for being horny. It doesn't say that. I just summarized. But then there's this controversial statement that says, although this group is Bible-based and do not promote homosexuality, we do not forbid it either. As a community, we are to show forth love and welcome all flat earthers. So I guess that's not as controversial as I thought it was at first. But so they accept homosexuality, but they don't promote it. So our guest today is Mark Sargent. He has about 100,000 followers on YouTube. He is kind of the star of the Flat Earth documentary on Netflix, and he is king of the Flat Earth movement. He did not start it, but he kind of popularized it with his videos. And so we're very lucky to have him talk to us today about just like, what's the deal? What's the vibe on Flat Earth?
What's the deal?
What's the deal with Flat Earth? I'm like, I'm nervous. Are you guys nervous?
Yeah, anything could happen.
Oh, he's in the waiting room.
Oh my God, I'm like nervous. Are you guys nervous? I'm going to put on my sweater.
To hear Mark's interview, listen to part 2 of our Flat Earth episode. Bye.
An Erios original.
Powered by Acast.